UKLC is presented by Curry's PC World.
Hello everyone and welcome to the UKLC presented by Curry's PC World. A massive welcome for everyone joining us both on the BBC and on Twitch. I'm Viper and joined by Jamada once again. And Jamada, we had a pretty crazy set of games yesterday, some very quick ones, but definitely a fun one to go back and watch.
3 out of 4 of the games were definitely fun to go back and watch. Yes. It was a crazy day. We actually got primarily stomps. Honestly, a lot of games were quite one-sided yesterday. Very heavy-handed. The winners were in taking down just about every team. So, yeah, definitely an exciting one to go back and watch if you're looking for fast 25-minute game.
I mean, if you don't have too much time on your hands, you just want to watch some quick UK League of Legends, then yesterday's games could be a good bite-sized chunk. And speaking of UK League of Legends, we're very, very excited today because we're going to be talking to you a little bit in this pre-show about the UKEL, which is the feeder league to the UKLC. So the UKLC feeds into the NLC at the very top, that high ERL tournament that goes to the European Masters, but there is also a league below the UKLC where teams can battle out for a chance to play in the promotion relegations. And we speak a lot about the relegation from the UKLC, but it's not a case of the teams that get relegated disappear off the face of the earth. They just move one league down. Of course, Jamada, you were casting in the UKEL last season. I'm casting there myself this season, and plenty of very, very strong teams have come up through this league, the likes of London Esports, the likes of Resolve, who of course are dominating the UKLC this season. Both have played in UKL in the past.
Yeah, we also had, of course, Bulldog went down, I think, in 2019, down to UKL and re-promoted as well. So, you know, a fair few of the organizations competing in UKLC right now have actually participated in UKL before. So, yeah, like you say, loads of teams and also quite a few players. Players like KZ, for example, who we've highlighted on Barrage Academy, spent a fair amount of time, I believe, at least 2 splits in UKL as well. So players like him, Regan, I'm trying to think of other ones as they kind of just flow through my mind. But we've had quite a few players come through the system from the UKL into the UKLC as well.
Absolutely, and don't just take our word for it. We're going to be sharing some of the highlights from the season so far in the UKEL with all of you right now, so take a look.
Spray comes around the corner, a hook lands onto Rail, but followed up by Spray's Cocoon onto Mask of Jelly. Zyke is still alive, but there comes Nautilus Ultimate, forcing him to dash away once again. Spray dropping low, but Maciek returns to the fray to try and keep them on the winning side here. Another triple knockup from Flagin, and Nerd Rage finish off the fight with the shutdown onto Goose.
Donlottie's a bit overextended now. Needs to be careful as a tanky horse and gets the ultimate off. Will be doing a decent amount of damage, but does fall as Kaz on the backline is culling through, looking for damage, looking for Man Robert. Can he find him? Yes, he can. Members of Mythos are melting, and Viperio go legendary.
The fight is not over. This is for Ocean Soul, remember. Viperio need to get this. That's why the teams come in. Massix immediately looking for the fight. Watch it. It's going to go to side of blue. Now all of a sudden they've got the Soul on their side. They are healing up. Watch Udyr in the backline. Johnny Rico just trying to annoy them, as in fact they're getting killed on the backside. Massic cannot stay as long alive as Johnny Rico. Flash forward stun, bear slap, loving that. Down goes Zyke. It's a triple kill for Kaz. Absolutely taking over this game. The Ocean Soul into the fight to follow. You would have thought Nourish looking good. Quadra kill for the side of Kaz.
Senna got online, so very hard to close out there now.
They're trying. Give him the Penta. Give him the Penta. There it is. Penta kill for Viperio and for Kaz. So well deserved.
And Robo forces that passive out, but now suddenly blue members coming out of the woodwork, and Donlossie will go on a rampage, taking down Davidoff now. Takes a bit of damage in the backside. Synapse forced to retreat. Goose and Ispany have rocked up into a double stun and a TP combo. Double kill for Donlossie. Can he survive the aggression from Goose? He absolutely can. Synapse the next to fall. Keverman watching, being dived on 5 versus 1. The ace out of nowhere at 15 minutes for Mythos.
And that is almost the rugby field they need to start up the Dragon. Little Pants on the side, half health, looking for an engage. Nice selling that, nice cast, and he absolutely decimates Monster Rugby Gaming. Only Goose has gone down, but they're all falling, they're all melting. And Demise Academy with the cleanest ace I've ever seen.
Some pretty mad stuff there. A lot of happy memories watching back a couple of those clips, but there's a lot of awesome League of Legends to be watched out in the UKEL, and we actually have a standings for you from the current season because, of course, it is running pretty parallel to the UKLC. A couple of familiar names up there if you have been watching UK League of Legends for a little bit of time. Demise Academy, obviously the big one to stand out, 7-1. Currently having dropped their first game of the season last week against Hive Central in second place, but also Munster Rugby Gaming hanging around in this league as well.
Yeah, Munster Rugby, and then of course Nerd Rage competed in the relegations at the end of last year. And not only that, Viperio team that's also sort of always been just shy of making it to those promo relegation series to the UKLC as well. So quite a few notable orgs in this league. And like you say, Demise Academy at the very top. Pretty big disparity when you compare it to their UKLC sister team.
It's crazy to think that when you look at all the leagues stacked up one on top of the other, Demise and Demise Academy are directly next to each other at the moment. But if that has intrigued you and you want to be seeing what kind of games you can watch from the UKEL, we also have the schedule to show you for the next set of games. That is this Thursday, kicking off at 6 p.m. GMT. Mythos will be taking on London United. Viperio against Lucendi. Nerd Rage against Hive Central is definitely the game that catches my eye the most, but Demise Academy against Munster Rugby Gaming will also be a fascinating matchup.
Yeah, 3 of the opening games there. Everyone very close in the standings. I feel like the only poor Souls match is going to be for Munster Rugby Gaming and Demise Academy, unfortunately, for them. So yeah, very exciting day on Thursday, 4 games right there.
Yeah, if you want to be joining us for those ones, make sure you head over to the Twitch at the UKEL, and I believe it's the same on Twitter as well if you want to see and keep up to date with everything going on there. But you know, we can't talk about the UKEL forever. As much as I want to, we're going to have to look forward to the games that we've got in the UKLC today. And Jamada, we're going to be jumping to the standings real quick, just to remind everyone where we are at with this league. Resolve still undefeated with their main challengers pushed to the wayside, although third place Barrage will be coming up against them today. And Vision have been dropped into the relegation zone with their performance yesterday as Enclave climb above them. And M&M Academy and Bulldog Esports, I believe they're the wrong way around due to head-to-head, but those two teams are going to be battling it out, looking to try and get into the playoffs as well.
There's quite a few important games going on today, and I mean, I think the M&M Enclave game, I believe, is the one that really is going to strike me as the most interesting, simply because we've spoken about M&M throughout a majority of the split as, hey, these guys look like they're going to be, you know, sort of top 3 bare minimum, potentially just like second place team outright. And now they're fighting against Enclave, who have been struggling practically in the relegation zone for a majority of the split. And if they do lose this game, M&M basically could end up dropping to as low as 6th at the end of the day. Yeah. So it's a very scary prospect for them, honestly.
Let's have a look at the schedule to see exactly what games we're going to be watching this evening. Resolve taking on Barrage, first game of the day. London Esports coming up against Demise just after that one. Enclave M&M, the one that Jamada was just alluding to, third on the roster. And then we're going to be rounding out with Bulldog versus Envision, which is also going to be a very, very interesting matchup, considering that Envision now more than ever need to pick up wins, and Bulldog have been resurgent in the past couple of months.
Yeah, I have to say, Bulldog have been looking a little more like their earlier week self, and for Envision, especially an organization pretty much since they've been in the UKLC, barred the opening split for them, have practically just found success, and only success. So seeing them so far down in the standings is a little bit, you know, curious for them, I suppose. It's not what we're used to from the organization in Envision. Yes, they have had a wide variety of rosters, but it doesn't really matter. They've always finished in that top half since around the start of 2020. So definitely looking to at least recover some of that form. Definitely not looking to finish in the bottom 2. So taking on Bulldog is going to be an important match for them. And for Bulldog, looking to climb back in to that top 4 spot.
There's everything to play for on this Valentine's Day UKLC game day. And if you want to be joining in the fun, letting us know how you're watching the UKLC or have any opinions on any of the matches coming up today, make sure you tweet at us with hashtag UKLC. And I hear you might even be featured on the show. So make sure to be getting on Twitter and doing that one. We're going to be jumping to a short break. But when we come back, we're going to be jumping into our first match of the day. Resolve still undefeated. Can Barrage Academy take them down? We'll find out in a few minutes.
We're nearly in sync, but not in step just yet. When you time that look, you know this can't be second best. It's all in the timing. There's not a right way or a wrong way. It's just a short way or the long way. Get there together in our own way. Good timing is everything. The wrong move when the seconds end will slow us down. Good timing will make or break. The fine line is a choice or is it fate? Don't slow us down. What we do at the start is gonna be there too at the end. Get the pace up, keep the faith up, never breaking the link we've found. It's all in the timing. There won't be a right way or a wrong way. It's just a short way or the long way. Get there together in our own way. Good timing is everything. The wrong move when the seconds end will slow us down. Good timing will make or break. A fine line is a choice or is it fate? Don't slow us down.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the UKLC. Viper and Jamada here, ready to take you through the first of our 4 matches this evening. Resolve, pretty unstoppable so far this season, coming up against Barrage Academy. And Jamada, we talked about Eminem when they came up against Resolve being maybe the best opportunity for someone to take them down. And then London Esports came along and looked very good. And we were like, potentially a good opportunity. Both teams were brushed aside quite easily by Resolve. So the next best thing, looking at the table and looking at how the teams are playing, has to be Barrage Academy, right? Right?
I mean, I guess, yeah. I've just started calling it the Resolve tax now. You've got me on the whole, you know, it just feels like Resolve are gonna 14-0 the league. As much as I want to try and bring some hype to the Barrage side, I don't know, man. It's really tough. I think Barrage do have a shot. Again, I feel like for most teams, I'm trying to give you some cheat codes here. Resolve like to play a very concise game of League of Legends. So if you try and make it scrappy, you might throw them off their guard. They might be off killer. I don't know. I'm not saying it's a guarantee, but that's Resolve just like to play very by the books League of Legends. If you can throw them off the books, then maybe you can take them down. But I don't know if Barrage necessarily have it in them. They have been playing well recently, so we'll have to see, because League of Legends is League of Legends. It's not like Resolve are invincible. They can lose League of Legends games, obviously. But they are looking invincible. So yeah,
Let's have a quick look at the two rosters that are going to be going into this game. Fun fact, the last time that Resolve as an organization lost a game of League of Legends, it was 2020 Summer UKEL, where they lost a 4v5. So looking towards that team, Artorias the only one remaining from that victorious UKEL roster, but Soft Chimera, Yusa, and Fastleg all coming in and all having very, very strong games yesterday, but a very impressive performance coming through from Barrage Academy as well. Aragon, King, Thomas Go, KZ, and KDO. And KDO, especially to me, has looked very impressive in the past couple of game days.
Yeah, KDO has actually been stepping up quite a bit, and obviously I believe this is his first full split as a support player, so making that role swap over to support. And yeah, he's honestly been relatively consistent. He's had a few downs, but for the most part, mostly ups for this Barrage side, and has sort of been that, in a way, unsung hero in terms of KZ being set up for success. Whilst yes, you can sort of attribute it to Barrage's sort of early game macro and early rotations and the decision making in putting the resources into KZ, a lot of that still comes off of the back of KDO.
We're into Champ Select. Resolve on the blue side, Barrage Academy on the red. Pantheon and Fresh taken off the table. The Fresh ban has become very, very popular in the UKLC in the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, very popular, and I actually like the fact also that Resolve have removed away the Wukong just as a respect ban into Barrage Academy, of course, showing the Fasting Center yesterday. But yeah, Fresh, honestly, a very powerful champion, mostly because he's got positive matchups into just about every meta support at the moment. So, you know, just saying, all right, KDO, you're not going to have this playmaking support. It's a little bit too safe for blind, and given how all of the bans have gone through, Seraphine, Olaf, Pantheon, I would expect Resolve to either go down the Hecarim or Graves / Kai'Sa, and that would just be, Resolve, you can kind of, they just do this almost every game. So now on Barrage's side, you know, a couple of options. They can try and lock in the jungle matchup that they want. They are still going to go with the center, though, it seems like, and just an immediate same rotation in that center and Kindred that we saw yesterday. So curious to see what they're going to actually replace the Wukong with, unless they are just going to eventually go down a more conventional center route.
Could be the Tom Kench, of course. That one's available. We saw that played yesterday as well, notably by Resolve, actually. Fastleg coming on the interview and saying it's lame that supports have to last hit occasionally. So we'll have to see if that's the direction that Barrage Academy feel confident going down. The Kai'Sa and the Orianna, and there's the Twist of Fate that we saw yesterday as well.
Yeah, pretty much same draft from Barrage coming out. Resolve here, they look in the Kai'Sa obviously does really well with the diving forward of Hecarim and Orianna to supplement the forward diver that Soft is going to be playing. And I'm curious to see what Barrage are actually going to pair with this center, whether they're going to go with a more traditional support and just have KZ farming, or whether they're actually going to go down a more fasting route. You know, the fasting champions that I can still recall, Tom Kench, obviously, Maokai, a thing. Set 2 can also be played with the fasting center, so there are quite a few options. Most of those champions also do flex into the top side of the map, so let's see what Resolve actually feel more comfortable in banning, whether they're just going to ban top lane champions. So far, it seems like that is going to be the case with Camille, whether they would go down the more flexible route as Barrage banning out 2 supports, very powerful supports, Lawless and Rel. It doesn't really give away anything in what they want to pick up, so I'm really curious to see what Barrage are actually going to replace this Wukong with.
Definitely going to be the most telling sign is what Barrage Academy do pick up in that bot lane. Support, asterisk, maybe not support. We'll have to see how the lane assignment goes. But with Tom Kench being off the table, we know it's not going to be one of the 2 that we saw yesterday alongside this center. And as you said, it could very well just be a traditional center, but that set lock-in does suggest that potentially we're going to see another center who's going to be auto-attacking champions and not minions.
Yeah, this is also something I want to say Aragon did play a few times last split as well, so he's comfortable on it, to say the least as well. So this is a very potent flex. That being said, with the Twisted Fate there, it's not necessarily going to be the highest kill threat comp until level 6. So if you're talking about Thomas Go using that Destiny Gate to the top side, and now with the Gnar being locked in set, I mean, he's going to have an okay time if he does end up in the top side, but he will get bullied around. He is that melee champion. In lane, it does give Aragon the opportunity to counterpick if they want to just chuck this set to the bottom side. There is no Thresh to counter the the set either. And honestly, Set will probably have a good time into Alistar if this is what the lock-in is. So I'm gonna just say I'm expecting center Set to be in the bottom side, and they just try and give counter pick over to Aragon.
Yeah, could be the case. Could also see that Set going top side and get bullied. It's hard when you see the Gnar,
yeah.
and it's like, oh, you're going to get bullied regardless. So I mean, we'll have to see what you go with. There's also stuff like the Ornn, which is a very strong pickup. Again, doesn't have the best time into the Gnar, but
I think you pick something bruiserish for Aragon here that can potentially split push. Oh,
is that an answer?
Okay. Very interesting. Okay, so Choke definitely can answer the Gnar. Has a lot of in-lane sustain, of course, from the passive. So Gnar can struggle in a way to kind of force him out entirely, like how he can force out a lot of other melee champions. That being said, Cho'Gath is very immobile, so he will definitely struggle to deal with the Mega Gnar when that does come around. And if Soft ever pays him a visit in the top side, Aragon's going to have to flash, or at the very, if he doesn't have flash, I would honestly expect him to go down in most scenarios. So the Cho'Gath is a very interesting pickup. It does do really well into dive, actually, as a champion, so I'll be interested to see how Barrage actually pilot it, but his team composition isn't necessarily built for outright team fighting, but it can definitely do the job into what Resolve are running, which is, again, you know, Yusa on a primary damage dealer, you've got Chimera on this utility champion, Soft on a sort of secondary damage dealer, in this case Hecarim, can obviously, you know, take over a game if he gets fed enough. So Resolve coming out very standard. Yeah, seen it from them before.
It's you said it perfectly before we went into champs. Like you said, Resolve love playing this kind of conventional, like very traditional brand of League of Legends, and they play it exceptionally well. And that's the whole thing, is we play our brand of League of Legends better than whatever you're going to throw at us. And we've seen it from the likes of M&O Academy, where they played their team fighting brand of League of Legends very, very different. And in the second game, they were completely brushed aside. And we saw London Esports even yesterday kind of forcing Resolve to play a little bit differently, or in a game where Resolve were playing a little bit differently, not necessarily forced by London Esports, but still had a very, very easy time dispatching their opponents there as well. Looking at this Barrage Academy lineup in terms of the champions that they built and the composition that they built, interesting tools for sure, and definitely some powerful pickups there, but I'm a little bit skeptical, because is this the kind of composition that you need to play against Resolve? Is this the slightly less traditional, slightly weirder, scrappier composition that could potentially dethrone the undefeated champions so far?
I think, actually, yeah, I do kind of believe so. I think a pick like Twisted Fate, for example, where if Resolve are kind of, you know, slacking in some rotations where, you know, Chimera might rotate over whilst he doesn't have anybody actually shadowing him, then of course you can have the Destiny Gate immediately come down. As long as somebody's actually there with that Twisted Fate, you can easily make picks in that kind of fashion. So I feel like with the champions that Barrage have picked up, yes, but I'm not necessarily sold on Barrage's ability to execute into a team like Resolve, right? If this was any other team in the league, I would say Barrage, honestly, coming out of draft, would have most likely like take this game. But Resolve have just shown this sort of extra, you know, ability to take wins, even if they don't necessarily have draft edge. In this case, this is just kind of a Resolve draft. It's hard to lose on a draft like this, where the execution threshold is low. There's a fair amount of combat mechanics, but if they do start to fall behind heavily, a composition like Resolve's, with what Barrage are running, they can struggle to make a foothold back in.
We'll have to see which one of these two teams will walk away with the victory here. Resolve on the blue side, Barrage Academy on the red side. Lines of scrimmage set up. And exciting first game of the UKLC. Second day of the week. Remember, there is Monday as well. For all of you needing more UK League of Legends in your life. And this one, hopefully going to see a fascinating contest. We haven't seen too many fascinating contests involving Resolve pretty much since day one. Yeah, week one, game one was pretty clean from both teams and very, very interesting. But in this timeline where Resolve got that final auto attack that they needed, definitely been a dominant performance from them. And we even heard from Fastleg yesterday on the desk saying, look, it's getting a little bit boring now. We're trying not to get complacent, but when we're winning every game, it can be a little bit trickier. So it hasn't shown on the Rift though. Resolve have always looked very respectful to their opponents, have played the game by the numbers, haven't really overforced or been greedy in the base. And that's very, very promising for this team that is trying to be the super team in the UK, right? And Ray also spoke in an interview this week, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, talking about how this UK powerhouse team is kind of a cheat code, and they seem to have found the correct solution to the UKLC puzzle, at least for now.
Yeah. And Resolve have been saying since their entrance into the UK scene that they want to go the distance. They want to immediately, or as fast as they possibly can, make it into the NLC, as well, in case it's really straight. Fortunately for him, he is going to have 2 pots, I believe. He's got into 4 IM, and then obviously Senna has a lot of sustain in her kit. But yeah, Resolve, you know, we spoke, like I say, with Emery. Complacency can definitely be a thing. More trades coming down. Complacency can be a thing, especially in the nature that Resolve have been winning their games. It can be very easy to just get a little bit too comfortable, slip up. But as you say, it's not really been the case. They have been fairly respectful to many of their opponents, except for the fact that they are technically 0-2 to some Nexus.
I think, also, thinking this through and going back to where the standings were and how the league is, I think if Resolve win this game, they're guaranteed champions for the regular season.
Oh.
We'll have to check that with production,
yeah,
but they'll be going to 11,
actually,
and London are on 6, which means that they can only get 10
6.
maximum. So
yeah,
a win here would crown Resolve regular season champions. Of course, playoffs do exist, but
I mean,
there's always...
if they win, they're just locked first seed, so... And like you say, playoffs do exist. But even saying that, in a best of scenario, I'm not sure whoever would finish in the top 4, who would actually end up taking them in a series.
I mean, it's just so much confidence from the team and from the organization. It's always really impressive to see. But let's talk about Barrage Academy for a minute, because of course Resolve, big match for them, need to be consistent. But Barrage Academy, fighting for those playoff spots, have found their way in towards this playoff fight in the last couple of weeks and have been looking stronger and stronger with each game. And of course, they've slipped off a couple of times, but definitely been impressed with a couple of players on this roster.
Yeah, just like we've highlighted already, KZ coming up, finally getting his first full split in the UKLC, has definitely had a fair few stellar performances himself. Thomas Go as well, after his very unfortunate split last year with Bulldog, not able to find a single win, finally finding wins and proving that he is definitely on the stronger end of UKLC mid laners. As we say that, missed kind of minion, unfortunately for himself. Just a good ball placement and an unfortunate wave position for him, which is the reasoning for that. But it's going to take a reset, you would imagine, there. Lane, pretty okay for him, though he is down a substantial amount of CS. Chimera doing a pretty good job there in denying, as he's going to be out of mana for the shove. Only got 1 Q in him.
There it is.
There it is.
It was a good Q. Hit all 3 of those back minions, but just looking at the game and where we're seeing, very, very quiet start to this one. A bit of scrapping in the bot side, but it's just been between the bot laners. No jungle intervention anywhere really, and with Hecarim and Kindred, we'll both be relatively happy with that kind of line of play.
Certainly the Hecarim will be. The Kindred, if she's picking up marks silently, like we saw yesterday, King, I don't actually know what the final mark count was, but at the very least had about 9 marks by the time the game ended, and I want to say had about 5 at like the 10-minute mark.
It was like 6 at 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, it was something really ridiculous like that. So King, definitely a much slower paced game for him today. I believe has picked up at least 1 mark, as I want to say Kindred's mark spawned, unfortunately for him, on that rapid camp as Soft is taking it. So unlucky RNG this time around. King actually substantially down in CS. Looking at it, he's behind, trying to do the maps, I believe it's 2 after he takes Grom. So actually no, it's 4 and 3. So he's got some catching up to do. Soft already level 5. King is level 5 too, but you can already see the bottom side of your screen, Soft around 1 more camp away from level 6. Actually dings it on that Grom. King's gonna take up this this Cloud Dragon. I'm not sure he actually has any idea where Soft is, but for now has double lane priority, so using this as an opportunity. I don't think he can
It's a very dangerous take. A soft coming in, trying to move the danger towards Thomas Go. Of course, Thomas Go going to move down towards this Kindred. Really caught with the shockwave, though, is flashing away. Gold card will be able to land the stun, but the damage comes down on first blood going over to Soft. The Dragon's going to be smited away. Excellent leash, says Soft, as KZ and King both have to flash over the wall. Disaster for Barrage Academy, but Resolve will be very happy with that play.
Oh, no, Barrage. King. Soft says, thank you for the leash, buddy.
I appreciate
it. As, unfortunately for him, Soft things at level 6 immediately beelines for mid lane. And Thomas Go has nowhere else to go, really. Could have, I suppose, flashed over the wall back towards his tower, but at that point, he just risks getting Onslaught of Shadows over the wall anyway. And Soft, being that higher level, has more damage in his smite, so wins out in the smite fight. KZ and King both having to flash over the wall. Disastrous start for the red side team here. And Soft, time and time again, he's taken over games on this Hecarim. 61 CS at 7 minutes. Level 7. First blood kill in his pocket. Could potentially be in for a business as usual kind of game after a start like that.
Soft, the only player from Resolve, I believe, that we haven't spoken to on the interview desk. I mentioned that yesterday, so good performance from him. Bring him in.
I hope we do get him. I wonder why. I know actually. It's not really. He's not too well at the moment. He's kind of ill, unfortunately. Resolve jungler, so I don't know if we'll actually get him on the interview desk this weekend. But certainly do agree. He is the only person from Resolve, staff and players, that we've not spoken to.
Yeah. Well, he needs to start hiring more staff.
Yeah, just hire more staff. They can cycle out the players.
I mean, this is all speculation, of course, because the game is by no means out of hand at all yet at the 8-minute mark. They have got first blood. They are looking to pick up the Rift Herald. The Cloud Dragon is in pocket as well. So definitely a decent start for them, but it's quiet, it's slow, it's controlled. These are all things that we kind of aren't surprised about. As a dive coming in towards Yusa, he's going to be knocked against the wall, dragged back in, teleports coming through as Yusa will be able to get out the back of the tower. Fast leg is there, but Aragon comes through as well. Alistair will go down for the first one of the fight. Artorias is looking to continue the fight, but won't want to do so without the Mega as Aragon flashes away from the tower after getting the kill down onto Yusa. Stun coming through onto Artorias before the flash comes out. So Nart is going to have to run for the hills. We'll be able to get back under the tower, but a 5-player dive on bot side for Barrage Academy pays out with 2 kills.
Yeah, pays out with 2 kills, but look at the mid lane. Soft has that Rift Herald in pocket. He's got the trading tool there. And they're taking the place quite quickly. Honestly, this could just be a full tower before 10 minutes into this game with that Rift Herald coming down. But of course, you just saw before the replay came up on our screens, Barrage are taking a lot of place off that bot tower. So the execution on this dive from Barrage, it's not perfect, but it's just about enough to net them 2 kills. Aragon uses the feast on Fast-Legged, gets himself a nice beast burger sandwich. Does not actually able to get the kill credit onto Yusu as well, but it's Thomas Go who throws out a card to pick up that one for himself and forces the flash away from Artorias. It's a nice dive all in all. Barrage getting a lot there. Not quite able to take down that bottom side tier 1 tower, but a lot of plates being traded back and forth. So yes, thank you, Observe. We could just get that gold flash. Just see where all of the gold actually landed. And you can see Soft 4.5 thousand gold in the game. Most gold in the game right now. He's 1.5k up on his counterpart in King. Chimera also another benefiter of those tower plates going down. So he's up a little bit under 1,000 gold on Thomas Go.
Look at the bot lane.
Yeah, it's the bot lane. It's KDO has. I mean, it's always kind of strange. Oh, yeah, the mid lane. Thomas Go.
Fast leg, gonna get the headbutt. No pulverized due to the stun, and Thomas Go will be able to move back from that one.
So yeah, again, for those who are not familiar with the fasting lanes, it's a little harder to sort of do the mathematics on getting who is further ahead if both the lanes aren't well. You can only really fast them with setup. So the best thing to do realistically is just add up the total gold value of both lanes. In this case, Yusa and Fastleg sitting at about that 1.8k mark, 4.8k mark, whereas KZ and KDO maxes and failing 6,000 gold. So definitely up a fair amount. But you have to take into consideration it's not like all of this gold is going onto an AD carry, it's going into what's effectively a tank set. Whereas Yusa, whilst he is behind, sure, he's on a hyper carry. So have to see as this wave is being frozen. King is here. Soft isn't necessarily too far away to respond if Barrage attempts to force something. Destiny Gate is coming up from Thomas Go as well. Well, there's pings coming down. They had wards Resolve did to try and catch that rotation, so probably had an inkling that something was going on. But Barrage looking to actually try and contest this dragon. I don't know if that's a great idea. They have lane priority, but I don't know.
Looking to try and catch on to Soft, but the pony's quick and he will be able to just, you know, gallop away from that one. Going to start up the dragon though, so could be looking to get the objective, but not going to be letting it stay in the pit for too long. Have dragged it out and need to be careful. Members of Resolve are moving down. We don't want to see another leash. It is going to reset as Soft's going to be the one to pick it up. Now the dragon is fighting Resolve and moving back into the pit. Both teams a little bit tentative about this one, but Barrage Academy are just going to move away and allow this dragon to go down. And you're going to be wondering why they decided to start that dragon if they were so willing to give it up.
Yeah, it was just an audacious one. You know, honestly, I don't necessarily think they had information.
Oh, and the top side, though, Aragon, Artorias needs to be careful. Aragon going to be helped with the stun from Thomas Go and the chomp down. If Alistair's a beef burger, what's Gnar?
Actually, don't know. What do you call a Yordle? Isn't there a race in League of Legends lore that eats? Right?
Yeah. Oh, what is it?
I know Kha'Zix like. Or does he? No. I actually think there's like voice lines where Kha'Zix like you.
I know there's a bit of the lore, which isn't super relevant, but we're going to mention it anyway because I love the League of Legends lore. Rengar and Gnar actually got into a huge fight at one point, and Rengar got beat up.
Oh yeah.
Badly by Gnar.
That's very true. Yeah. Did get beaten quite handily as well. Mega Gnar's OP. What can I say? As King going to be picking up his second mark of the game. Very nice for him. Going to let Aragon out of that fire bush as well. And King's actually coming down. Resolve and making a rotation. Aragon might have just died for a pink call.
Yeah, which he didn't even clear out. Shockwave lands back and the kill goes to Soft. And excellent play there from Resolve to grab themselves a kill. Give themselves a little bit of time in that top side, and it's looking very, very comfortable for Resolve at the moment. The gold lead doesn't suggest too much has been going on, but the way that this game is being played, Resolve looking definitely the cleaner of the two sides this time around.
Yeah, the gold graph also doesn't really speak much on what the game state actually feels like either. You've got 2-level lead in the jungle, you've got level lead in the mid lane. You have, well, not much else going for you that, but it's just the fact that this Hecarim can be such a menace diving into the backside of just about any team composition. But Barrage do have suitable tools for dealing with this Hecarim. They do have the Lamb Spite, they've got gold cards, they've got a set to throw the Hecarim back in to the Resolve team composition. So it's not like the game is necessarily done by any means. They can actually deal with this Hecarim as long as they aren't, you know, feeding him a little more than what they have already done. King is doing a good job, at least in the item farm. It has managed to pick up his first mythic. He's farmed up quite well. King, as a player so far in the league, has almost habitually always been able to keep up the farm numbers and his CS and damage per minute stats. As I don't have them at hand, but coming into this week, I believe he was always one of the highest ones. Teleport's coming down. Barrage are trying to contest it.
And it's going to go very, very low. The Herald are just below 4,000 health as Barrage Academy looking to chase Resolve away. Herald will reset.
Oh.
Destiny Gate has been used. Stun coming out onto Soft, but he will be able to get the ultimate down. Center ultimate will go wide. Barrage Academy going to be forced to back away with those key tools being burnt. We'll be able to pick up the Scuttle in the Herald area and should start up that objective as well. Look on the bot side, Kaiser's not going to be involved in this fight at all. Yusa happy just to get that gold, get that push on, but in the top side, this does been resolved. Will be at a disadvantage if they look to take the fight. It looks like they've decided against it, as Barrage Academy going to be gifted the Rift Herald teleport from Cho'Gath as well down towards bot side. Will stop Yusa getting the tower. And all in all, a decent play for Barrage Academy so far, but Resolve. First fight, KDO going to be flashed away, not too convinced by that one. Will be caught back by the Shockwave, dunks Alistair back towards the enemy team, but he's going to be scythed down. Soft picking up that kill, and questionable play at the end of that one. Barrage Academy looked like they made a positive impact, but one wrong move and they lose a member.
Yeah, let's not get a replay. Let's not do that. Yeah, it was a positive start for Barrage. Also forcing out Soft's ultimate defensively signals that they can just take the Herald for themselves. And Resolve were in the middle of trying to make a cross-map play. They recognize they're going to have to give up that Herald. They try and make a beeline to the other side of the map to try and get some counter jungling going. As Artorias used the ultimate there to just clear the wave. It's a very low cooldown, so he's lost about that one. And KDO just takes a bit of a misstep and flashes backwards. It happens to the best of us. I want to say, though I'm actually uncertain, because I haven't really spoken with many set support players recently, but I would imagine that you have your E set to not smart cast, so potentially just hit his keys in the wrong direction and flash backwards. Chimera potentially in trouble.
Fast legged on the side as well, but the gold card won't come through in end, not able to close the distance quite quick enough as the Rift Guard has been dropped now by KZ. Interesting that it was the marksman from Barrage Academy grabbing that objective as drag back. It's only going to be Aragon caught in the shockwave as King is able to slide out of it and grab some honey fruit to get back health. The Rift Herald will be negated though, not going to be able to get the charge down as King needs to be very, very careful. Destiny Gate has been popped, or just the Destiny portion of it. Thomas Go looking for an opportunity to teleport in, gets towards the objective and is going to be able to start up with the rest of his team. Chimera hasn't got shockwave, remember, it can do a lot of damage using that ball as a zoning tool. Soft now secretly getting into the back of the pit, and here's the engage coming through from fast, like Hecarim coming through. King is dead as KZ is trying to get onto Yusa with KDO, but is having the worst of the fight. KZ is going to be shot down as the rest of Resolve will be looking to turn around, but Kaiser already dead. Kaiser still alive, but it's going to be Resolve picking up the Dragon after a 1-for-1 trade.
KZ managing to, 2-for-1 trade. KZ managing to get out by the skin of his teeth, but the end result is still Resolve. They pick up that third Dragon. Barrage staring down.
Artorias needs to be a little bit careful. Does have a little bit of support in fast leg, but it's just Alistair as Artorias gonna be looking to get out of this. One is scurrying away. Headbutt Pulverize will stop any chase for now, as Thomas going KDO not confident to take the 2v3 fight with KZ still being below half health.
Is it still below half health? That was a funny looking interaction. I'm not sure if we saw that on the stream feed, but Soft sneaks into the back of the pit. It's a nice engage from Fast Leg, then he's way too tanky with that Unbreakable Will to actually be burst down. And seeing a little bit of week 1, week 2 Yusa Kaiser play there with that Killer Instinct into the backside. Separates himself from his team. He does die, doesn't manage to get the 1-for-1. But Resolve, key thing, they pick up King, they pick up Aragon. They get that third Dragon. Barrage staring down the barrel of a 23-minute Ocean Soul. Not necessarily the position you want to be in. Especially not with so many frontline divers on this result side. It can just make them nearly invincible.
Not optimal, it has to be said. And you spoke yesterday a little bit about how much Resolve love having these tankier, bruisery, engaged-oriented champions, these Nars, Hecarims, Alistairs even. How this is really the style of composition they love to run. And it's exactly what they've built for themselves, and seeing a decent amount of success of it so far in this game. Have got that gold lead, have taken down 2 towers to 1, looking towards that soul. Barrage Academy also having the worst of that third Dragon fight, which we've said is pretty pivotal in how these games go. Aragon needs to be a little bit careful as he's jumped on by Artorias, who will be able to get the Gnar ultimate down, getting some damage, but Cho'Gath not actually all that concerned by this and is able to just kind of wander away with half health. No one else is going to get involved as Gnar goes mini, looking to get the last bit of damage down, and actually going to start doing pretty decent amounts of hurt. But in the top side, Sov has jumped on Thomas Go, who goes down much, much quicker. Artorias will clean up the kill on the bot side as well, so 2 kills across the map going over to Resolve. They're going to take that bot tower as well. Could even force towards the top one, and Barrage Academy going to try and grab whatever they can mid lane, but with members recalling. And actually a teleport coming down from Artorias, another one coming down from Pereira as well. Double TP, they need to make this play work. KZ will be melted as Soft is looking to get on the flank. He's got the ultimate available, gets towards King, but won't be able to catch it down. The slow on the smite won't be enough as King is able to dive away. KDO needs to be careful, but Resolve have bought themselves a lot of priority, a lot of damage, looking towards the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, convenient. Baron just spawned. Artorias got KDO locked up right now.
Teleporting try as KDO is going to be forced to back away. Fast leg down the back as well. Stun goes down onto the Gnar. Now the teleport is coming through as members of Resolve peel off the Baron to get into the fight. Aragon strutting down behind the Baron pit. Here comes the Destiny Gate potentially. We can see where everyone is, but Twist of Fate just wants to be joining up with the team, moving towards that top side to clear out those minions. And Resolve are going to be forced away from the objective as Alistair needs to be a little bit careful. Won't be caught with the snare though, and should be able to move away with the rest of the team. Crucially, the headline of that fight is Resolve are denied the Baron buff.
I suppose so. They are denied the Baron in the immediate future, but see here, again, Resolve stripping Barrage of their bottom side jungle. Not the first time that they've done it this game. King only falling further and further behind because we can see 2 levels down to his counterpart here. And yeah, whilst Resolve they're stopped from doing the Baron, the damage is already kind of being laid in as we get a replay of this. And honestly, I just thought this was going to be a bit of a tank combat. Nothing really to see here, but eventually Aragon just falls low enough below lethal that once Artorias returns to that mini-Gnar form, he gets some of that % HP damage back on those hyper proc, and just able to run down Aragon on the bottom side. And then on the top side, Thomas Go is just being free man. So Barrage somehow in a position where they're able to lose out on both side lanes. Not exactly ideal, as we're now 30 seconds out from this Ocean Soul spawn up, and Resolve actually potentially looking for a fight. Fastek has a flank angle.
Look at Resolve. We'll be able to get the soul onto Chimera. He's going to go very, very low. The Lamb's Dress will actually keep him alive, as King needs to do it to keep himself up. Chimera with the shockwave will catch on to KDO members, already dropping as Yusa dives across the fight, getting towards a double kill for Chimera. Artorias is chasing, but Thomas Go will be able to pick up the shutdown onto the Orianna. Aragon in the backside is being absolutely bullied by the remaining members of Resolve. The heal from KZ might actually keep him alive as Fastek is in 2 minds. Artorias over the wall as Aragon will be cut down eventually. Stun coming through from Thomas Go, but it's not going to land onto anyone too important. Destiny Gate will not get him away. KZ looking to slide away as well. Might be able to escape. Might not, as Artorias seems pretty set on trying to cut Senna down for the ace, as the rest of Resolve will be moving towards that Dragon buff. Artorias is about to go Mega, is about to get the ultimate available, and KZ with nowhere to run. Artorias playing with his food, waiting for that to come down. Will be able to get this last auto attack. Actually, decent play there from Artorias to allow for these split respawns with those timers coming down. It might make it a little bit harder for Barrage Academy to contest this Baron, and that's not even speaking about the soul that was just secured as well.
No, and Resolve should be able to just make it back out to the map and set up around this Baron area. But we'll see. So Fastek has this angle of engage, but it's actually just Barrage that stepped forward and attempt to immediately burst down Chimera. But unfortunately, King falls solo that he feels threatened enough to drop the Lamb Spy, and it keeps Chimera alive for so long. And during this time, Resolve are able to burn through enough health bars to keep Chimera alive long enough for them to end up winning the fight, even though eventually Thomas Go does run him down with that gold card. Aragon's a nuisance in the backside, but he has no kill threat. When you've got 3 members of each other standing on top of one another like how Resolve just were, and fortunately for Thomas Go isn't able to get that Destiny Gate off. KZ flashes to prolong of what is just realistically the inevitable. Chimera, well, he was being bullied by Aragon, but now Aragon's being bullied by the entirety of Resolve.
It's going to be cut down and taken out, and Cherryov's big, but he's not that big just yet. So Barrage Academy will be down a member for this potential Baron fight. I don't even know if Barrage Academy are going to look to contest it. It's completely dark in terms of vision, and Artorias and Fastlane playing Bouncer very, very effectively, making sure no one's coming in who doesn't have their Resolve ID card on them. So this one should be secured pretty easily. Thomas Go popping the Destiny to show, yeah, they are doing it. There's nothing you can really do, as he's not going to look to gate into the fight. Actually going to look to gate away from Artorias, who had dived onto him, and he will be able to step away with full health. But Baron secured by Resolve. Ocean Soul secured by Resolve, and things are looking very, very comfortable for the undefeated team so far.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, at this point, I'm just tracking to see whether or not Resolve have it in them to close out in this Baron buff duration in Full Onto the Barrage. Unfortunately for them, whilst they did have okay tools at dealing with some of the early game weaknesses that this Resolve draft obviously does have, weren't really able to abuse them, as Thomas Go potentially looking for Chimera here.
Going to be able to land the stun. A lot of damage coming down onto the Orianna, about half health as King moving forward as well. Shockwave will drag Thomas Go back. You can see on the side, Soft potentially looking for something with that blast cone. Not going to want to engage 1v4 without support though. And this is another thing, Resolve still looking very, very respectful of Barrage Academy. Soft not going for engages on the tower where you don't need to, not diving in where you don't need to. even with the combat advantages that are brought with this Baron and with this Solar Taurus on the bot side, looking to knock down another tower for himself, as the rest of Resolve are happy just to siege down mid. Orianna moving top to add another layer of siege, another layer of threat to these objectives. Soft might have found himself engaged on, does manage to avoid the rupture with sheer movement speed on the Heck. Remember, not so lucky there in the middle of the fight. Use has just been deleted, and that's quite a decent catch. Barrage Academy going to have to now rotate and deal with the rest of the towers that are being attacked by Artorias and by Chimera, but that should dissuade any further sieging, at least for the time being.
Yeah, it's going to slow down the pace of the game for Barrage. Resolve not going to really be able to siege out the AD carry here, and numbers disadvantage. Like I said, this is the thing with Barrage's composition. They have really nice pick tools available to them, but they weren't really able to use them in the early game when Resolve were at their weakest. So that's why we see the kind of game state we're in, where Resolve, unfortunately, 10,000 gold up on the Barrage. Just a very sad state of affair.
It's a healthy gold lead.
It's a
Resolve.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where when you're in games like this, they just feel bad to finish out. Because it almost feels like you kind of know at this point that the game is, in almost every sense of the word, over.
It's
but
definitely,
you kind of...
Yeah, you have to still play it out, and
but you still
the
have to play
defending
it out.
team still has to... I mean, we have seen games that have looked more secure than this be lost. The classic one was, I believe it was 2019, XL with the 12k gold lead. Losing out to Fnatic Rising. That was a UK classic, if I've ever seen one, and Soft maybe looking for an engage now, has popped the speed, but won't be able to find a comfortable one. And again, Artorias down in the bot side, has teleport to get to a fight if he so desires, but with the Baron running out, could well be the play. But it's just looking to create a little bit of pressure on the bot side towards those tower. Aragon, pretty scary on this Cho'Gath, is very, very big, very, very tanky, and has some CC as Artorias will start knocking on that inhibitor tower. Isn't going to feel too comfortable taking a fight just yet, but happy to poke and prod away on the Lilnar, as mid lane might be the location of the fight. KDO looking for an engage onto Chimera, will be able to catch him, but not that much damage is being done, and KDO taking a lot on the return. Artorias with a nice ultimate will catch 3 members. The Lamb's Respite has been popped. King looking to tack away. KZ there needs to be careful as Soft has dived into the backline, but he's just going to be taken down by Barrage Academy. Shutdown going onto King, and once again Resolve are unable to siege down this mid tower and are being chased away. Nice flash from KZ to avoid the shockwave, and the stair will land onto Fasting. Alistair's a pretty tanky customer though, as Thomas go looking for the flank. Members of Barrage Academy actually need to be very, very careful. As Taurus is stepping forward, KZ will go low, will be assassinated by Yusa, who's going to get stunned up. The cleanse will keep him moving. Aragon going to go down for the double kill as Yusa is on a rampage. KDO going to be chased down. Fasting picking up that one as Thomas go. Last member of Barrage Academy standing will also fall. The ace comes through from Resolve. It looks like a sterling defense from a Barrage Academy, but it may well end with their Nexus falling, as it looks like Resolve are going to try and close out this game.
This is the thing. Barrage have a really strong composition at dealing with divers like what Resolve were running, but when you fall this far behind, it can become quite troublesome. We saw Soft overstepped right there at that inhibitor tower. Thank you, Fast Leg, for the cowbell. But unfortunately, Barrage, they buy off a little more than they can chew. Very end, they feel confident with the numbers advantage. They step too far forward, they get punished for it. Honestly, I'm not even sure how the health bars ended up as low as they did. Perhaps Chimera caught out a few members with an attack dissonance, but the end result is still Resolve. They come out the victors in this one, and with that win, like you said, I believe securing mathematically first place for themselves.
I think so. We'll have to check with production just to make sure that I'm not spouting lies, but I believe that will put them out of sight of everyone else. London Esports being in second place with 5 less wins than them going into their next one. But we're going to jump to a short break, and when we come back, we're going to be interviewing the coach from Resolve and breaking down one of those team fights, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.
closer to our dreams that color bright like autumn leaves. Not looking back, we're not afraid to fly. We're forever young and we'll never die. We're one step closer to our dreams that burn as bright as we can see. We're gonna jump out, climb so high we reach the top of.
Welcome back to the UKLC. I'm still Viper and still joined by Jamada, and we're going to be breaking down the first win of the day. Not the first win for Resolve, though. They've got plenty of those in their pocket already, as they looked very, very comfortable in their win over Barrage Academy. I know that I say that after every Resolve game that they play, but they always look so cool, so collected, and so good.
Yeah, no, they do. There's not really much else to say about Resolve. At this point, it's more or less, you know, refinements at the very, very high end. It is more or less at this point kind of talking about the super duper, you know, talking about like proper reset timings, wave management that, you know, actually makes it impossible for the enemy team to respond. All of those kind of things. 'Cause other than that, a lot of the fundamentals for this team seem to have been covered for Resolve.
Absolutely, and one person who knows all about this Resolve lineup is their coach, Splitthis, who is joining us for the interview that we got after this one. So massive congratulations on yet another win, and definitely a very, very strong performance. Are you happy with it?
Yeah, hello. Yes, I'm very happy with it. For our official games, it's going really well.
Yeah, that's good, and we've obviously spoken with a lot of the players on, well, every single day because you guys haven't dropped a game. And we've been joking and saying that it's been getting pretty difficult to ask you guys questions, but I do want to ask from your perspective as a coach, who's probably been, you know, the player that's helped you spur development the most for the whole team?
I mean, I think everyone is doing their job pretty well in terms of like having their goals pretty clear set on, and individuals and on team aspects. But I think if I have to choose one player that stands out, it's probably gonna be Soft. He's always like really proactive and brings up a lot of ideas in terms of how we should approach our next steps.
That's good, and obviously it's working out quite well for you.
Yeah.
You know, I think with that win, you guys have secured regular season first place. So I just want to say congratulations on that, because I don't think mathematically London are. I don't think they can catch up anymore. They've only got 4 games left. They're 6 wins.
Yeah.
You guys are at 11 wins.
I
So
think we secured it last yesterday, no?
it could have even been yesterday. Yeah. So
Yeah.
congratulations on that, I want to say. And
Thank you.
you know, what you sort of like moving forward in terms of, you know, your own personal goals as a coach, because I know you've been with Resolve since last split in summer 2020. You know, looking towards NLC, how do you guys feel you could potentially do, like looking at some of the teams that have been competing this split? Like if you was in the NLC this split, how do you guys feel like you would actually be able to perform?
We will probably get like a decent performance of top 4 team.
Top 4, okay.
Love the confidence.
Yeah.
It's great to hear that. And I guess the one question that is on our minds now is, when you're looking at the rest of the season, of course, you've already secured that first seed. Are there any matches coming up that you're having to do special preparation for? Are there any teams that you're worried could well be that banana peel for Resolve, or do you think it's going to be a clean, easy, undefeated season?
I think it's gonna be a really clean split. Even in the playoffs and everything, I think we're gonna probably go undefeated.
Amazing to hear. Love the confidence. Thank you so much for joining us, and good luck with the rest of your games.
Thank you for having me. Have a great evening.
Amazing. Always love speaking to coaches. And Shamada, as a coach yourself, you can talk us through one of those plays from that Resolve victory.
Yeah, sure. So, coming into it, third dragon fight of the game. Of course, if you've heard me on cast, you know the highlighted importance I have on these third dragons. They will often dictate the tone of the remainder of the game. And here we have the entirety of Barrage all clumped. Where's my circle? Here we are. All clumped up at the at one of the river entrances, trying to make their way into the river. And they had just dropped the Herald over here, which was actually stopped by Resolve. They weren't able to get the charge off, but they were just using it as a sort of ruse to try and just maintain mid lane priority, but they couldn't unfortunately force it. because Artorias had made the rotation down, so I'll get the clip going. Chimera doesn't have Shockwave. If he had Shockwave here, he could just chuck the ball where it is, and it's impossible for Barrage to approach through that chokehold, but they are able to make it through. Tomasko has to port to make it back to the rest of his team, and at this point, it's like, okay, maybe Barrage can burst down the dragon. They do have the feast, but you're going to see Soft, well, I've hit the incorrect key. Soft is on the backside of the pit, and you're going to see Fastleg make a very nice, I'm using the slow-mo really poorly today. Just getting to the backside of the fight, and they blow up King in the middle of it all. Lambda Spike can't be cast, and at that point, the fight's kind of just already over. Yusa on the bottom side of the fight does attempt to actually take down KZ. It's sort of week 1, week 2-esque Yusa killer instinct usage, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day because the fight was pretty much won from the moment that the fight was so split up and King was taken down, couldn't cast that Lambda Spike, and it just gives Resolve free reign onto picking up that third Ocean Dragon.
And picking up another win for themselves. We're going to go to a short break, but when we come back, it's the second match of the evening, so don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.